Okay, the lesson today is all about networking or computer networking. Please take notes. If you talk about networking, it's human networking or maybe business networking. You should actually talk about computer networking. Computer networking is a network around a computer. How you network more than one computer to another one. Now, I'm going to put sharing on, and I'm going to just explain on the whiteboard to you what we mean by networking. Say, for instance, I've got a computer here. I know that's a crazy computer, but anyway, it's a computer. And I want to network with another computer. In the old days, we just used to plug in a cable there into a network port, take the physical cable, which is wires, plug it into that computer into a port, and voila, we could talk to each other. The modern thing about computer networking is if it's cables, they put a switch inside of it. Now that is called a switch. I'm just going to put it as there now. Okay. And now you can connect more than one computer to the switch. As an example, I've got a cable there, there's a computer there, another cable, and a computer there, and so forth. I can connect a lot of computers to the network. Now, that might be users working in office. As an example, that guy there wants to open Word, but Word is not in his computer, it's on a server that's maybe over there. Let's call that the server. If he opens Word, it actually opens it from there. Now this person here can also open Word from that computer, and the same with this one, and the same with this one. And the programs or software, you can load it into a server. Just put an S there for server. Right, so there we have a server with all the programs people use. Now, if that guy wants to send that guy a message, he just needs to know that computer's address and he can send him a message over the network. If this guy wants to print, he can click on print and the switch will find the printer over there and it will print. There's your printer. Right. So any one of these can access the printer or they can access some of the programs on the server. Now, this network can also be attached to the internet. Let's call this the net. I know I've got a horrible handwriting, but anyway, there it is. That's the net, the internet. So any one of these users can use the internet by just typing in the address he wants. The server will see that it must go to the internet and send it out to the internet. Right. Now, these users could be PC users, in other words, a computer, right? But it could also be a cell phone or a smartphone. See there? It could even be a tablet that somebody is typing on. Right. The common use in the office would be PCs, but you can also have tablets and whatever. Right. Now, this network here can consist of physical wires or cables, but it can also be a wireless network. So this guy sitting here with his laptop could have a wireless connection, something like that, eh? And then the signal will go out to the switch. This side you have a special thing called the wireless access adapter, but don't worry about that now. But the signal then goes out to this thing here. And that signal will then be sent to the switch, and the switch will send it wherever. So if this guy wants to send this guy a message from his tablet, he can just click on send. It will go to the wireless access point, and that will be sent to the switch, and the switch will be sent it to the PC where it must go. All right. Now, what happens here is the network allows you to network with other people or other components or other pieces of hardware like a printer or whatever, but it will even help you to network with the net. Okay, to recap quickly, if you want more than one computer to connect on the network, you need a switch. But if it's a wireless connection, you need a wireless access point, and that is usually written as WAP, wireless access point, something like that. Right, so there's our wireless access point, and this guy's signal now goes there. Okay, and this thing is then connected there. That connection could be wireless or it could be cable, usually cable. Right, and that consists of the whole network like this. Now, I'm going to close this up. And I'm going to open a presentation. And then we're going to do a presentation about computer networking. Now, my first slide I have just shows a network. A network can have many users with different connections and different kind of users. So you can have a normal PC user working in an office. You can have 10 of them or 20 of them, 100 of them, or maybe just 2. They could connect with a physical wire, or they could connect wirelessly to something, right? It could be laptops, it could be smartphones, it could be all kinds of funny stuff that you can connect to the internet. A part of the network might be a printer. A part of the network might be a server to do something special. As an example, that might be called a file server. And then when this guy opens Word, it will fetch it from the file server. If this guy opens Excel, he will find it from the file server. So you could have a server that serves all the users on the network. You could also have a printer server which serves the printer. And this could be a printer server, and if this guy prints, it will go to the switch and then to the printer server that will print. Because on a printer server, you can have more than one printer. You can have a black and white printer, a color printer, you can have a plotter, and all kinds of funny stuff. And the server will sort out what goes there. Right. Now, I say again, on a network, if you connect more than one component, or more than one PC, or more than one thing, you need a switch, like that thing there. But if it's a wireless connection, you need a wireless access point, which is abbreviated to WAP. Okay, and it can serve different purposes. Now I'm going to go to the next slide now. Now the type of networks you get is a normal office network, which would connect a lot of people working in office, and they might be connected to a printer server, which allows them to print. They might be connected to a file server, which allows them to use files from the network or from a server. And then they might have an internet connection called a proxy server. So a proxy server is usually what they call the internet connection. And all of the people in the office can now print, use programs from a server, but they can also have a connection to the internet and use like that. Okay, now most offices will have a combination of networks that has wires and also a wireless connection. And most offices will also have some printers or file servers and a combination of this. Okay, I'm going to go to the next file. Now, a network could have cables or it could be wireless. With cables, you need a switch, okay, to connect the different components. Without cables, you need a wireless access connection. And by the way, it's wireless access point. That should be point. And it's abbreviated to WAP. Okay, now, in a real office, you will have a connection between these two, and a person can sit with a laptop in his office and connect with a cable, not use a lot of data, but he's connected to the cable. If he disconnects his laptop and he goes to the let's say maybe a different room or maybe a conference room or whatever, then he can connect with his laptop wirelessly to the same connection and still use the network. Okay, so in short, you need either a switch or a WAP, or wireless access point, and sometimes you have two to make one connection. Okay, I'm going to tick to get the next slide. Now, to make a connection with wires or cables, you need obviously the cable, but at your PC, you need a network interconnection cable or a NIC. Okay, and you need a NIC on the switch as well. Okay, so you need a network connection, you need a cable, and the other side a network connection as well to connect to the two. Okay, so if I go one slide back, all of these computers will have a NIC there, and a NIC here, and a NIC here, and also there. Now, a lot of those network connections are sometimes built into the computer, onto the motherboard. But sometimes you need to buy that network connection and plug it into the computer, and then plug the cable into it. Okay, so a card looks like that. And it's actually called a network interface card. That's what NIC stands for, network interface card. Most people call it a network integrator or a network connection. Okay, but anyway, a NIC is part of the computer. If it's not part of the computer, you buy it and you connect to the switch. Now, if it's a wireless connection, you also need a NIC this side, but on the other side, you need a special adapter to adapt to the wireless, the WAP, W-A-P, wireless access port. Okay, and it will then connect you to the internet. Now, the cables that you get has a special plug that you plug into the NIC, and that's called a network port and network cable. I'm going to go to the next slide. Now, if you have one network that connects a lot of users that are in proximity to each other. Now, what I mean by that, it might be a business with 10 people working in the business. But that business has 5 people working in a building in, let's say, level 2 of the building. And it's got maybe 6 people on level 7 of the building. That all is connected to one network, and it's called a local area network. And most people just say LAN. So a LAN just consists of a lot of network users, but which are relatively close to each other. Now, it's relatively close to each other, which allows to connect with cables. Even if you connect wirelessly, that wireless signal can only go a certain distance. So a LAN could be wireless connections, it could be cable connections, or it could be a combination of the two. But a LAN could consist of PCs or users. It could be a mobile cell phone kind of thing, a smartphone, it could be a tablet, it could be a printer, and so forth. Okay, so we often say it has a printer server, and it might have a file server somewhere that allows the person to get the file through the internet. But these could be 10 PC users or 5 or 300, as long as they're just close to each other. Now, if you have a business that has a branch in Pretoria, and they've got a local area network, but they've also got a branch in Centurion with a local area network, then they've got 2 different LANs. One LAN in Pretoria and one LAN in Centurion. They might have another LAN in Johannesburg and so forth. Then we connect the two, and it's called a WAN. So a LAN in Pretoria, a LAN in Centurion, a LAN in Johannesburg, together is called a WAN. And the wide area network is actually a WAN. So some companies have more than one networks connected to each other, and it's called a wide area network or a LAN. Now remember, each computer has cables or wireless connection with a NIC to connect them to the switch. So we have a central switch here, the central switch here, and a central switch here. You might have a WAP or wireless access point over here and a switch. To make this network cable or wireless or both. Okay, and it's connected to a WAN. Now, to connect one network to another network, you don't have a switch, you've got a router or a router. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note here. Over here somewhere, in the middle of the screen. Now, my mouse has just disappeared, very nice. Oopsie, problem. Just again screen, and I'm going to go to production pen, and there's my pen. Okay, I could have a router over here. Some people say a router. Totally up to you how you want to pronounce it. Eh? And there we've got a router or a router. Okay, and it's over there. Now the same goes there, and the same goes there. So how do you connect one network to another one? You need a router or a router. Right. Now, if these guys want a connection to the internet, you can take a router and put it there, and then it will connect to the net. And that now allows every user on this network to use the internet. That user or this one or even this one here. Right. And then they go through the router. Now, this connection here is actually called a proxy server or proxy connection. But the point is that you need a router there, and a router there, and a router there. Okay, I'm going to change this back. There we go. I'm going to go to the next slide. So to connect one network to another network, you need a router. And a router can also be used to connect to the internet. So between a normal network, you might have a switch, or you might have a wireless access point, but connecting the two, you need a router. There we go. Okay, now, just to recap quickly. An internet network is very, very handy because you can connect printers to it, you can connect hardware to it, you can connect, as an example, you can connect a scanner or you can connect a plotter to the whole network. But you can also have a special network that allows people to share documents. And then it's called a file server to be able to save files and so on. But the moment you want to go external out of a network, then you need a router. Okay, I'm going to close this one up and stop sharing.